So whatever I'm telling will be like lenient towards science because as science faculty, so I'll be like, whatever I talk will be with reference to the science field, but still you can even, take away whatever I'm going to tell you about literature review as well as the intellectual property rights to the other fields also. Okay, yeah. And my first topic is before she opens the slides. So my first topic I'm going to tell you or I'm going to talk about is a literature review. I think you have seen the topic. It's a literature review. So literature review, I don't know how many of you have done PhD so far, or whether you have already completed your doctoral degree, or whether you're joined your research. Then full screen. PDF ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದಾಗಲ್ವಾ ಲೈಕ್ ಅಡೋಬಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ವ್ಯೂ ಇಲ್ವಾ ವ್ಯೂ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಓಕೆ ಐಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಯಾ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು Machine 53 there. Total participants is to 67. 71 ಎಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸ್ತದೆ. Yeah. So I was telling you that my first topic of whatever I'm going to, talk now is a literature survey. I'm going to give you an overview of literature review. I don't think, how many of you have done PhD? How many of you have done?
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah. I hope you have all, I'm audible to all of you.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Out of 67 participants, I think near 40 to 45, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
That's fine. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about literature survey, like how you can go through the literature. Maybe those who have done even PhD, so it is going to be helpful in further carrying out the research. And for those who have not done PhD, also it's going to help because they can start by motivated. By getting some ideas to going through the literature. So what I'm going to talk about is first I will tell you what is a literature survey and what is the importance of literature survey, what are the steps involved in the literature survey, and what are the useful tools which are going to be used for conducting this literature survey, and what are the other sources and summary. Okay, so after that I'm going to talk about IPR, that's intellectual property rights. So in order to do the literature survey or the literature review, first of all, we should know what is a research, right? So all of you, I hope all of you have aware of what is a research. You all know that it's a systematic method consisting of, going through the problem, formulating an hypothesis or coming out with a problem and collecting the facts and data related to that problem or the field of study and analyzing those facts and also reaching certain conclusions or come out with the new results. Okay, so either the results can be either in the form of, solutions towards considering certain problem or in certain generalizations of some theoretical formulation, or even coming out with the model or coming out with the novel idea, novel experiment, or whatever it is. That is a research. Research is researching. Means we have already have a lot of whatever the knowledge which is reposited in the scientific community or in other communities also. So we'll go through the whatever it has happened already and we'll understand what is happening, and also we will try to contribute a little bit for that. That's why it is research and it is not searching. Okay, so we have to come out with the research is an original contribution to the existing stock of knowledge. making for its advancement. So whatever it is there, we cannot, do it again and, we can say that this is our research, right? So we have to come out with some of any of the original contribution. Maybe it is about method, maybe it is about analysis, maybe it is about writing a review or giving your perspective or something like that. And also research is the pursuit of truth with the help of a study, observation, comparison, and experiment. Okay, so you can do it. Okay, so you can do it through, deep study about even, literature people will do research by taking one book of some author, known author, renowned author, and they are going to analyze that book, and also they are going to give a perspective of that book, right? That is also a research. And also observation. So by observing whatever the experiments we are going to conduct, and also with the comparison with the existing, whatever the data which is available, and if we are going to improve certain data, or if you are coming out with a new experimental method, so that is all called as a research. Okay, so we are going to add a little bit, which is going to be an innovative, or what I can say, novel idea from our side as a researcher. So that is going to be the research. Okay. So what is the objectives of research? So the objectives of research is, so you see, all of us are teachers, right? Our faculty. So we are all should update our knowledge every day on the day-to-day basis. So that is what research. If you are involved with research, if you are involved in guiding somebody, or by doing research by yourself, so what are the advantages or the objectives? So you can gain knowledge, unravel the mysteries of nature, establish general laws, and you can improve your teaching day by day. Okay, so that is a major advantage of taking a research. Okay, so you will get deeper ideas, and your analytical skills are going to be improved, and the way you're going to see the problem last year, it will be like improved to the next year, and in subsequent years you are going to improve yourself in delivering the subject, and also to find the solutions for various problems, and you can develop new tools, concepts, and theories, and also it is going to provide social harmony. So the research in the social fields are also necessary in order to give, or in order to come out with the, to educate the society in ethically we have to educate the society. That is also very, very important. So when we want to do research, okay, so I told you what is a research and what is the objectives of research. So what is a methodology? So how we can start doing research? So that is the way of conducting research is called as a research methodology. What is research methodology? It is a systematic theoretical analysis of the methods which we use in the research field, or in the particular field of study. So this research methodology includes conceptual framework. So you see, you cannot do research on everything and each and everything or whatever it is available, right? So you have to select a field first. Okay, so this research methodology includes conceptual framework. You should come out with the concept either with the help of your supervisor, or if you have already done your doctorate, you already have a exposure towards research. So you should have a conceptual framework, and you should have a design for that doing a research, and by the same time you should know what are the methods, interpretation, and validation which you use to conduct research. Without validation, without interpretation, your research is not going to be complete. Okay, so therefore, first of all, you have to have a literature survey. That is going to be the first step in the literature, in the research. So let me tell you what are the steps involved in the research. So as I told you, first of all, you have to choose the research problem. How you are going to choose, that is up to you. So if you are beginning, you will be in consultation with your guide or the supervisor. Otherwise, you already know about the problem, or even you can take the current problems, okay? So which are running in the society or in the scientific community, or even in the commerce field or something like that. And next step is the literature review. So when you do review, okay, so in that particular problem or research problem or the topic of research, so you will know what are people which, what are the contribution from other people to the particular field. So based on that, what you will do, so what has been done and what has not been done. So you should not waste your time on what has been done, okay, because it's already have been done by somebody and they have published also. So based on that, you have to find the research gap. So when you find the research gap, so you will be knowing some of the problems. So these are the problems which I have come out with on the basis of the literature review. So you may not address all the problems. Maybe you can address few problems. So if you want to address these few problems, so first of all, you should come out with the hypothesis. So this is a problem. This is maybe the method, or you can think this is maybe the hypothesis of that particular problem. Okay, so then you can design a work plan. So you have to design where I should start, what is the data I require, what's the experiment I should perform, and what is analysis methods I should adopt, and then it comes for the interpretation. So in that case, so first of all, you have to, either if you are doing in social studies or something like that, the data collection is important. So you should get a data. So if you get more and more data, your hypothesis or even the results which are going to be valid. And then if you are in the scientific field, you have to do the experiments, and then after you collect the data and after you do experiments, you have to analyze them. So if they are data, then you have to do the data analysis, and then if you are doing an experiment, you will also get the data, and that also have to be analyzed, and then you are going to verify it by repeating the analysis. And then after you repeat, and if you confirm that there is no error in the data analysis and there are no errors in the experiments, then you are going to interpret the results. So that is a very important step. That is also interpretation of the results. Even if you are interpreting the results, you should check back with your literature. So you should see whether you are in line with the literature. So whether you are getting a spurious results or whether you are getting a good results. So how you will know that whether you are going to get a good results or not? So you should always look back into the literature. You should see the similar studies, and then you should confirm that. And also with some discussion with your peers or with your guide or with your group members or with your collaborators. So you can, validate your results. And when you validate, and if you just confirm yourself, yes, I have got a good results, then you can go for the publishing. So publishing is a very, very important stage of research. Unless you publish, so you will say, okay, I have done, very good work. I don't want to publish. So if you don't want to publish, nobody will know that you have contributed to that work. So therefore, scientific community or the even societal community should know what you have done. So that is your contribution. So you should go ahead for the publication. So after interpretation, you have to write up all these things in a particular way. So that's a different thing. And I think maybe one of the resource person might have given you how you can write an article. So, adopting all those things, you can write a good article and then you can go for the publishing. So I hope I'm audible and I'm convincing you. People?
Yes, madam.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Madam, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay, fine.
yes, madam.
So now I told for all these things, literature survey is important, right? So then what is a literature? I told you about research and what's the methodology and how we can conduct research and all. So I told you that the first and the foremost step in conducting research is the literature survey. So what is a literature survey? So literature survey is a study of existing research and publications on a specific topic, summarizing key findings, theories and gaps in the literature. So why it is important? Because it helps us to understand what is the current state of knowledge in that particular topic of research and situate their own work within the broader academic context. So you cannot waste your 5 years of time by doing the same thing which already have been done, right? So that's a mere waste of time. And also you cannot publish those, whatever the results, and also you cannot get a degree. So therefore, you should always be thorough with the literature. So always you have to observe the last 10 years papers, whatever the literature sources which are available. Okay. So once Isaac Newton says, if I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. Okay, so whatever it has happened, okay, so that is going to be the some intuition, or it's going to give you some knowledge. And if you go beyond that, okay, so then only you can do some wonders, or you can come out with a good result. That's what the meaning of that sentence. And why literature review is important. So literature review is very, very important, as I told you. So I don't read all these things. Okay, so I will pass it on the slides to you. You can go through it. So a literature review is very important because it builds on existing knowledge and accelerate new perspectives. As I told you, you cannot waste the time doing what, the work which people have already done. So it actually gives you an idea, preliminary idea, and also it helps in formulating precise research questions. So you can know about, in their papers, they will say about future perspectives. So taking their future perspectives, you can come out with the research gaps. So based on the research gaps, you can formulate the research questions. And also it supports selection of methods, models, and tools. So maybe some models and methods and tools are very, very good by which are observed in the literature. So you need not go again with the methods, right? Models and tools, right? So you can follow those methods, tools, and models, and you can come out with the better results, or you can come out with the different results. And also literature survey directly shapes our hypothesis, methodologies, interpretation of our research problems. As I told you, if you are coming with a groundbreaking research, nobody will agree with that. Okay, so otherwise you have to have a proper validation, or else you should have a proper literature support. Okay, otherwise nobody is going to accept your results. And literature survey gives enhanced validity and rigor and credibility to your work. Okay, so it supports whatever you do. You give a proper literature support, it will actually enhance your problem, and it avoids duplication of work. I told you already, right? So your novelty may be in a very simple thing. Okay, so let me say the literature survey is 95% and your novelty is 5%. That is how the research goes. Okay, so you cannot come out with a 95% new result and 5% you can depend upon the literature. Rather, it is other way around. Okay, so literature support is very, very important. The next question is how to conduct the literature survey. Okay, so how you will conduct the literature survey varies for different communities, like scientific community, social community, or even the commerce. Okay, so it's going to be different. Okay, so the surveyed material should be as recent as possible. So what we will do is we'll stick on to not very old data, old research papers, because whatever the papers which are going to be published, they are going to be dependent upon the past literature. Okay, so therefore what we will do is we will stick on to the 10 years paper, 10 last years paper. Okay, so then it will cover all other things. Okay, so materials reviewed should be objective and unbiased. Material surveyed should be relevant to the study. So you have to select the literature in such a way that if you just open the internet itself, if you even Google, you will get lakhs together searches, right? So it will actually take away your time, and it will actually distract you. But you have to be very focused while doing the literature review. Otherwise, you are going to waste your time. Okay, and you have to focus on the recent literature, and also the whatever the literature you are going to see should be like focused to your topic of interest. Okay, so next let me tell you what are the steps involved in the literature survey. So what are the steps? So first of all, define your research problem or question. So anyway, now you don't ask me how to define a research problem or question. I have already told you. So you will come out with at least with the field of research. Then identify the keywords and synonyms. So in order to throw the questions to the literature engine, or whatever the engine which you are going to search for the literature, so you should have proper keywords. Proper keywords will actually fetch you the correct papers. Search and collect the literature, and screen and evaluate the sources. Read, annotate, and take notes. Analyze and synthesize. Organize your review structure. Write the literature review. Stay updated on the literature. So you will use the literature, search engines, and you will finalize your keywords, and you will vary the keywords, and you will collect your literature. After you collect, you will decide which is important and which is not important, and you will go through the literature thoroughly, and you will mark what are the important points, and you will make notes out of it, and you will analyze the literature, and you will come out with the gaps. And what you will do is, now we are going to organize. Okay, so if you are doing it from 10 years back, you will start from 2016 and relevant papers and the gist of what methods they have done, what are the results they have got, what is the conclusion they have made. Okay, so in order to understand a complete literature survey, you can write the literature review and publish. So if you publish, it's going to be in publication to you, and it's going to give you very good idea of what has been done and what are the literature gaps and what you can do. And you have to be always updated. You should stay updated with the literature every day on day-to-day basis. So now I told you what are the steps also. Okay, so now I will tell you what are the sources of literature, how you can make a literature survey. So what are the types of literature sources? We will classify the sources of literature into three types. First one is a primary literature. What do you mean by primary literature? It should be an original article, original research article, or a new scientific discovery. Okay, so immediate results of research, it will give you an immediate results of research activities, and it will include analysis of data collected in the field or laboratory. For example to the primary literature sources are original research published in articles in peer-reviewed journals. So if you are from a science background, you know that we have peer-reviewed papers, or impact factor, or even SCI indexed, are papers which are available in Google Scholar and Web of Science. So those are the original research papers. And next is the dissertations. I will tell you how we will get all these things later, and technical reports, and also the conference proceedings. So what are the secondary literature? So secondary literature actually summarizes and synthesizes primary literature. So secondary literature will be based on the primary literature, and it is usually broader and less current than primary literature. So this is not going to be too much related to the current fields. Okay, so for example, literature review articles review articles will be based on some even 20 years of papers or something like that. And the books we cannot restrict it to the last 10 years or last 15 years, because even 50 years back textbook will always be valid. Okay, so since most information sources, and why secondary literature is important? Secondary literature is important because that is going to give you the basic information, not the primary literature source. So suppose if you don't want to, suppose if you want to understand about the definition or some basic interaction or something like that, you have to go through the textbooks, and these published papers will not give extensive definition or extensive information about all these things, fundamental information. Okay, so that is why this secondary literature will be based on primary literature, but secondary literature is also going to be important. So next is a tertiary literature. So tertiary literature actually summarizes, or it is condensed versions of the materials based on secondary as well as the primary literature, usually with reference to the primary and the secondary. And it is a good place to look up facts or get a general overview of a subject. So for example, textbooks and dictionaries, encyclopedias and handbooks, and also some reports, gazettes, those which have been usually been released by the government. Okay, so this is about types of literature sources, and all the three types of literature sources are necessary. Okay, so the next question is, how do we search these primary, secondary and tertiary sources and collect literature? Okay, so let me explain that. So literature survey resources are from the online databases. So platforms like PubMed, Scopus, Google Scholar. So these are going to provide peer-reviewed articles as well as the preprints and also the reviews. Books and handbooks are going to give you, foundational theories and broad context of whatever the topic you are having. And journal articles, so these are primary and review papers that present recent findings and the critical evaluations. Thesis and dissertations, they are going to give you in-depth academic works containing detailed methods and emerging research. Conference proceedings are going to give you abstracts and presentations that showcase the latest unpublished research trends. Expert interviews are also going to be the literature sources. So they are going to be in the form of video or even the audio or even in the web. You can find insights from researchers or the mentors that add depth and current perspective to your understanding. Multimedia and reports. So these are going to be in terms of videos, webinars, and technical documents that provide visual explanations and institutional data. So that is how you will get multiple varieties of literature survey resources. So now I'm going to show you how you can search for all these mentioned literature survey resources. Okay, so the first and the foremost, every day we are going to open is the Google, right? So that is a major search engine which we, whatever the question we have, even we know the simple answer, we will give Google it, right? So that is how we are going to start these days. So the first and the foremost which you can easily believe is a Google. Okay, so here I have given my topic of research. Okay, so that is flexible triboelectric nanogenerator. So you can see that it took only 0.44 seconds and it gave about 46,100 results. Okay, so you will get enormous amount of results in the Google. So first and the foremost are the first engine which you can start doing literature survey is the Google, of course. Okay, and in the Google you have another one called Google Scholar. Okay, so if you enter Google Scholar, so again, if I give flexible triboelectric nanogenerators, here it gives all informations which are available on the web, but in the Google Scholar, it's going to fetch you only the published papers. Okay, so published papers in the field of flexible triboelectric nanogenerators. So here I can create my profile. Okay, so if you create your profile in the Google Scholar, okay, so you can directly download and you can save your documents or your papers there. So here you can see you have options. Okay, so you have options to give filters. Okay, so here it has taken any time. Okay, so you can give only year from 2026 to 2016, and also you can give sort by relevance, and also you can sort by the author name. Okay, so there are many facilities which are available in the Google Scholar, so you can make use of it. Okay. And the next one is the ResearchGate. Okay, so this is a German commercial social networking site for scientists and researchers. So you can create your, profile in that. And also there, the people who are going to, upload their papers in the ResearchGate, or you can even directly ask a particular author for sending that particular paper to you. So they will send you the particular paper and you can go through the paper, or else you can even follow. Okay, so sometimes in our research field, some people will be doing good work or excellent work. So what we can do is we can go to the research gate and we can register ourselves and we can follow those people. So as and when they are going to publish, you will get a notification. So when you get a notification, you can go through that particular paper if it is available freely. If it is not available freely, you can send the request to that particular author or a faculty, and he will send it. Okay, so in the ResearchGate, one more advantage is you can know about what are their interest fields and what are their total research interest, citations, and also in which field they are working and what is their address and all. You can get it. Okay, so another search engine is a Web of Science. So you can go to the Web of Science and also you can give your search word and you can find out what are the important papers which are registered in Web of Science. So because some journals are registered under Web of Science and some journals are not registered under Web of Science. So next one is a Ville online library. So this is also a search engine. Okay, so you can go to the Vela online library and you can give your word. Flexible triboelectric nano generator is the word which we have given here. So it will fetch you whatever the papers or the articles which are related to this particular word. You can change your search word. That is not an issue. And Microsoft Academic is also one of the search engine. So it is going to also perform the same operation. So next one is a core. So core is like connecting repositories. So what does this do? This is the world's largest collection of open access research papers. So this is going to give you or fetch you the open access. So if I mention open access, I should tell. So there are two types of research publications which we can publish. One is a subscribed papers and another one is a open access papers, right? So in the open access papers, the papers are going to be immediately available to the readers, but we have to pay during our publication. So that is our open access papers. But subscription papers are, we need not pay as an author when I publish in that particular journal. But as a reader, if I want to read that paper, I have to give money and I have to download it. Okay, so that is a subscription journal. Okay, so we don't have money, right? As faculty, we don't have any money. If your institution is sponsoring, you can go for the open access journals, because open access journals will be easily accessible to the readers and you will get citations. You will get increased citations. So what do you mean by citations? Can anybody tell me? Shall I tell you?
It is referred by.
It's a reference.
Citation is like if I publish a paper, okay, so if somebody else is going to cite or they are going to go through my paper and they are going to, give reference to my paper in their paper, that is called citation. Okay, so suppose if I publish one paper and 10 people have, cited my research, then I will get 10 citations. Okay, so during my introduction, Nanjun Swami told I have got 1981 citations, right? So means my papers have been cited 1981 times by others. Okay, so a researcher is going to be considered or is going to be elevated on the basis of number of citations he or she used to get. Okay, so you are doing research, but nobody is citing, means your research is not like saleable and it's not important to the society. So if you are getting more and more citations, means we are publishing something which is more important to the society or to the people. Okay, so that is what the citation is. We are also going to cite the papers, right? When we write paper, so maybe we'll give 40 or 50 references, right? They are citations to the respective authors. Okay, so that is a citation. Okay, so in the core, so you are going to get a open access paper, and also in the archive.org. So Cornell University is actually the Simon Foundation, and by member institutions, they have framed this website. So here, a repository of electronic preprints and scientific papers in different fields will be deposited before they get published. Okay, so because sometimes what happens is we have done some research and we have got very good results, but before it gets published, some other person might have done that and he might have published it, right? So that's why what we will do is we'll reposit, or we are depositing the whatever our important results in the archive, and it will be available publicly. And whoever is going to submit their new papers, if it is going to clash with the same results, he cannot submit his paper. So that is how we can protect our results. Okay, so that is the advantage of archive.org. Okay, so what are the other valuable literatures? I hope I have given you a good amount of information. So I think it's going to be like useful for the scientific community and even for the other fields. So in the social and other fields, the problem is the publications are not global, right? So it's going to be local. So our publications in the scientific field is global. So that's why we can rely on the global search engines. So maybe for you people, I think you have to restrict your searches to the Google, and also you have to go through the library and the secondary and tertiary literatures. Okay, so let me give you an idea about other valuable literature sources also. So the first one is university libraries and digital repositories. So for the other fields, as I was telling you, so other repositories are the very, very important, sources. So you access to the subscription journal. So now One Nation, One subscription is running, right? So you can get all the journals, all the papers which are going to be published under one roof. Okay, so archives of older or hard to find materials can be found in the university libraries and digital repositories. And nowadays all libraries have been digitized, so you can sit in front of the computer and you can get all the information by giving a proper search word. Next one is a thesis and dissertations. So thesis and dissertations contain in-depth background, unpublished data, and detailed methodology. What's the advantage? So whenever we publish a paper, we'll not give complete information about the methods, methodology, and all. Suppose if you go through the particular person's thesis, okay, so it's going to be like deposited. So you will get a broad idea. So that will be usually available in the Shodh Ganga, right? You know that. And ProQuest dissertations and thesis, and also institutional archives. So in all these things, you can get thesis and dissertations. So digital repositories. The next one is a digital repositories. A digital repository is a system for storing, managing, and providing access to digital materials. It acts like a virtual library. I told you every library is now digitized. So it's going to give you digital objects like documents, images, videos, and data. And these repositories are crucial, are very important for preserving and sharing digital information, and which supports actually research and also even the administrative process. So you already, I think you are aware of Shod Sindhu, right? It's a government website. So this is a higher education electronic resource. So this provides access to e-resources to universities, colleges, and centrally funded technical institutions in India. This is an initiative by Ministry of Education, Government of India, and this is actually being executed by InflibNet Center. So you can see that here we have 98 CFTIs, that is central funded technical institutions. 217 universities are connected, 3,800 colleges are connected, 10,000 plus e-journals are there, and 1,99,500 books are there, and more than 6 crores ebooks through NDL, and also 20 resources and 4 databases. So you will have many resources in that. And the next one is a Shodh Ganga. So Shodh Ganga is a digital repository of Indian theses and dissertations. So by InflibNet Center, which is an autonomous inter-university center for the University Grants Commission of India. And also another one is a Shodh Gangotri. Okay, so this is also a repository of the synopsises and research proposals of the PhD programs. And it is, mandatory that whatever we are going to submit, okay, thesis, synopsis, and all should be deposited either in the Shodh Sindhu or Shodh Gangotri. Okay, so that is a very important thing. So here you can see, if you go to Shodh Ganga, so you can see that 5 crore 76 lakh 731. 5,76,731 theses have been deposited. 1 lakh 5,087 synopses have been deposited for the different languages. So here is a bar diagram of different languages you can observe. So you can go through these websites and you can get the information about the primary and secondary resources, thesis and the dissertations and the synopsises. So Mysore University also has a digital library. Okay, so you can see that this is a Mysore University library, which you can if you want, you can ask Nanjun Swami sir to give permission to access Mysore University library during this period. So here you can see that digital repository of research, innovation, and scholarship is there. Under that, different different electronic theses and dissertations of Indian Institute of Science you can access. So you can access different institutions library from our library website, and also you can get a thesis information also. Okay, so that is available in that. And third important resource is conference proceedings and abstracts. Okay, so it gives present latest ongoing research before it gets publication. So good source for getting this is emerging trends and cutting edge methods, networking with this is going to give you like an idea. Okay, so if you refer to conference proceedings and abstracts, you are going to get all these ideas so that you can, collaborate with a particular researcher to conduct particular work. So you see, nowadays the research is like, it is not limited to a particular field like physics. I cannot do research only in physics. So I should go across the borders. So maybe in other fields also it is going to be like that. And also research is not the thing which you can do individually. So if you collaborate, you can exchange ideas and you can come out with the better results. So collaboration is very, very important. And then the last one is expert interviews and seminars. It's directly speaking with the professors or researchers or PhD students who are working in that particular field, or even attending colloquia, webinars, or departmental talks. That is going to help you understand ongoing work not yet published, and also discover hidden sources or key papers. So you see, all that information you will not get if only referring to one source. So you have to widen yourself in order to search for the sources. Okay, so you can see here that IIMT website, you will get conference proceedings, advances in medical and health sciences. So, if you go to the internet and if you give a particular, conference name, so they will also publish some e-abstracts. Okay, so in that you can get the information. So the last one is a gray literature. Gray literature are the research which is not controlled by the commercial publishers. Okay, so these type of research includes technical reports, white papers, policy briefs, and government data sets. It's going to be controlled by the publishers, but it is going to be directly handled by the government. Okay, so these are going to be funded by, or it's going to be found in institutional websites, research think tanks, and NGO databases, and even sometimes in the government websites. So you can find it. So like, for example, nutritional intake in India. So you can go to this website, Government of India, Ministry of Statistics. Okay, and also the last one is a books and monographs. So books and monographs these are going to be the ideal for theoretical background framework and historical context found in library catalogs, Google Books, publisher websites. Okay, so you can go through these resources and you can get information about books and monologues. So in the Mysore University Library, you can even get online public access catalog. So there is open access journals also, and for the Google Books, this is a example, and also for the in the Nature website. So you can also get some of the textbooks in the website. Okay, so now how to search effectively? I told you in the beginning only, you should have a search words. So for example, if you have if you want to search about NEP, description about NEP or information about NEP, so you should give students and NEP. Okay, so you should give Boolean operators properly. So suppose if I want to know about machine learning, I should give machine learning or deep learning. So these are the synonyms. Okay, synonyms you should coin carefully. Okay, and also you use the filters like date range, like from what year till what year you want, and what is a field of study, and also the citations. In terms of citations also, you can highest citation also you can refer. Track seminal papers which are going to be highly cited. So you can restrict yourself the papers above 10,000 citations. So you see whether you are going to get it. So this is an example for using the filters. So here you can see we have given proteins, and then anywhere in the article. Okay, so then written articles authored by. So you can even give the authors and the publisher name and also the dates. Okay, so by year also you can give. Okay, so and also documents. Okay, so here also protein, all fields. Okay, so all fields here you can restrict. Okay, so by giving that. Okay, so this also I will skip. So now steps collecting the resource materials under literature survey. So first of all, reading and analyzing the papers. I told you already, whenever you will read the paper, you have to focus on the abstract, introduction and conclusion, because all the information which are returned, you may not understand in the initial stage. So, focus on the methodology, results and discussion. What is the main contribution? You can prepare a table. What are the authors, what are the methods they have used, and what are the results they have obtained, what are the conclusions, what are the limitations, and also how does this particular paper related to your topic. If it is not related to your topic, you just discard it. And then organizing the literature. Organizing the literature is very, very important step. Okay, so you will get enormous number of papers, but you will be confused which paper I should go through and which paper I should not. And if you go through one paper and if you don't categorize it and if you don't mark it, then what you will do after 1 month, you will again go through the same paper. Okay, so that's going to, kill your time. So, you have to categorize whether you are referring a theoretical paper, experimental paper, or it's a computational paper. And also you have to, categorize chronologically, and also you can have a thematic clusters, like you can name them by a different themes. Yeah. So next step is writing the literature review. So when you want to write the literature review, you have to focus on the introduction. So suppose if you start with your main topic of research, so you should give broad context, a broad introduction, and also the scope of the particular field. And then you have to explain thematic, chronological, and methodology, adopted by different authors, because literature review is not your own paper. It is a paper based on the literature. And also you have to evaluate, you have to indicate your results or whatever your observations through bar diagram and the tables and other things. And finally, you have to conclude with the gaps, trends, justification for your research. Okay, so what are the, common mistakes we are going to make in writing the review? People are going to make mistakes. Either they are going to write too descriptive and not analytical. You see, if you write a very lengthy paper, nobody is interested to, read that. Outdated, they are going to use outdated resources and bias selection, missing recent breakthroughs, ignoring opposing views. So even if you can write against a paper also, so that is also review only. So you need not accept whatever people have done and published. So if you find a valid reason that it's not a correct result and this is not a correct interpretation, you can oppose it through your review. Okay, so keeping up with the literature. So we have to, we can set alerts in the Google Scholar, PubMed. Okay, we can use RSS feeds or email digest from publishers. And also we can get whatever the updates from ResearchGate, Twitter or LinkedIn. So we have to get updated with the literature. Scientific knowledge is moving target. Staying current is not optional, it's essential. Okay, so we have to move with the advancement. Okay, so what are the tools for each step of the literature survey? I think I have already explained all these things, so I will skip. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I will tell about Mendeley, because as I told you, so we will have, we might have a lot of literature, but how to manage them? So we can have, we have so many softwares which we can use for managing. One is a Zotero and another one is a Mendeley. Okay, so these can be used. So for example, this is a Mendeley. So Mendeley can be installed to either desktop, web or mobile. Okay, so you can even put it on your, you can directly open it, or you can even install it in your mobile. So what it does is, so it will organize. Okay, so what you can just give, you can just open a Mendeley, and you can, in the Google Scholar, you can directly download it to Mendeley. So Mendeley will have a lot of options. Mendeley backs up your library online, and it accesses your articles anywhere, and it add new references to your library. Okay, and also you can, here you can mark, or you can make a folder, and you can just mark. Documents can be marked read or unread, or you can star your favorite papers, and also open attached PDF files in integrated viewer. And also we can fix their type: PDF, PPTX, DocX, Excel, etc. Okay, and also what we can do is, we can open up the document, and you can even stick a paper and you can annotate. Okay, so you can stick it and you can write this is the reason why I have referred to this paper, and also you can highlight it. Okay, highlight it and keep it whenever you open it again, so you can see that information on that, and it will give you a quick information. Okay, so that you can do. And also if you have Mendeley, it is very easy for you to cite it in your whatever the paper which you are going to write. Okay, so I'll just skip all these things because it's not very important, because I have to give lecture on the IPR also. Okay, so let me summarize. So literature survey is the foundation of research. Let us, we can use multiple source types like journals, theses, conferences, gray literature, and we can organize, analyze, and synthesize using the modern tools. Use AI or ML for speed, but apply human judgment for depth. You know, these days ChatGPT is very, very widely available, so you can use it. So I don't say you don't use it. Use it, but ChatGPT will not give you always the correct information. So you have to make judgment by getting that information. Always aim to identify the gaps, justify your work, and build on past science. So this actually completes, talk on the literature review. So if you have any particular question on this, you can ask me. So I'll give you only 30 seconds time. Any questions? I hope it was meaningful.
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Nice, right? Yeah. So the thing is, I have given you the overview. Okay, so I have given you enormous amount of information, but you have to like slowly assimilate it, and I'll pass it on the slides to you, so you can just go through the slides and you can get the information slowly. Is it okay? Shall I move on?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll leave, let us have questions in the last. Okay, so I have IPR to tell about. So the next topic is intellectual property rights. Okay, so it's IPR. So I myself being the coordinator of intellectual property rights. So I'm going to explain what is intellectual property right. So maybe you're aware of doing research, you have got doctorate degree, maybe very less people are aware of IPR. So what is IPR? IPR are the legal rights granted to individual or organization over the creation of their minds. These rights give the creator. So we'll come out with a novel idea, we'll come out with a nice product, we'll come out with a nice design. Okay, so maybe it will be artistic work or the name or a symbol. Even you know that all brands have different names, right? So all brands have their own what I can say, designs and shapes for their products. So they are all patented. Okay, so they are all patented. So that comes under IPR. Okay, so IPR actually aims to ensure creators are the owners of intellectual property. So IPR actually aims at the person who comes out with that particular design or even the idea or the symbol or whatever it is, it has to be benefited. So has to get individual recognition, as well as they have to get financial benefits from their work. So that is what the meaning of intellectual property right. If you are coming out with some of the creations, that is your creation of your mind. It's a creation of your mind, and it is individual, it is unique, it is novel, and you should be like recognized, and you should get benefited from that. So intellectual refers to the creations of the human mind. Property implies that these creations have commercial value and can be owned, and it is yours. Okay, so there should be an owner for that. So rights refer to the legal protection ensuring control and benefit of the owner. So that is the meaning of intellectual property rights. So what is the role of IPR in academia? So let us not talk about the business. So we are not business people, right? So we are all faculty. So what is the IPR in academia? So IPR protects research outputs. So this ensures discoveries and inventions by students and faculty are not misused. So what you will do is you will do some invention, and with that excitement you will share that invention with somebody else, and after that he will say, or he or she will say, that other person will say, I have invented. So that is how the inventions may be like misused. Okay, so it enables commercialization. Universities can license or sell intellectual property rights and generating revenue. So that is a technological transfer. Encourages IPR encourages collaboration. So if you have come out with some invention means, so your whatever the inventions can always be collaborated with some companies, right? So a clear IP policies foster in partnership with industry and other institutions. So you can get some royalty out of it. Support startups and incubation. So university IP intellectual property right is often the foundation for academic spin-offs and student startups. So these days people are, students in the engineering colleges and even the degree colleges are encouraged to come out with the startups, right? So if they have to come out with the startups, they have to come out with their innovative idea. So their innovative idea can be sold, or it can be like it can be like given to the other companies for some money, or they will get the royalty every time that idea is going to be used. That is a legal procedure, or the idea is going to be legalized. Okay, so for this particular process of transferring this idea or technology to the companies, there is a legal procedure, and that is a IPR. Okay, so what is the role of IPR in innovation and knowledge economy? So it protects ideas and creativity, as I told you, and it drives technological progress and fuels startup ecosystem, enables knowledge sharing with protection. So how does intellectual property arise? So it starts with human creativity and convention. A new idea, invention, design, or artistic work is created by an individual. For example, we have all chairs, right? So chairs will be of different forms. Okay, so if somebody else comes out with a chair with a different whatever the innovative design, which is going to be useful, or it's going to be like treatment to some of the diseases like back pain or something like that, so that is going to be a novel idea that can also be patented, or it also can be registered under IPR. Okay, so and also sometimes research, experimentation, problem solving, or artistic expression, that is also going to be the IPR. Okay, so this IPR takes tangible or documented form. The idea must be expressed in physical, digital, or written format. So it has to be documented and it has to be submitted to the IPR cell. And then there is a enormous procedure, longer procedure, lengthy procedure, and that will grant a patent. It is recognized as an intellectual property. Once documented, the creation can be protected under IPR if it meets scientific legal criteria. Don't think, if we just say I have done something, it can be patented or it can come under IPR. Nobody will believe it. Okay. So what are the different types of IPR? So there are many types of IPRs are there. So if you come out with the different device, software, protocols, research tools, copyrights, and reagents, drugs or therapeutics, images, curated longitudinal databases, compositions are of matter, machine learning, trademarks, model systems, antibodies, and cell lines, techniques, artificial intelligence, finally it is patents. Okay, so if you come out with a different experimental method or something like that, so you can patent it. So let me tell you, because we are academicians, so what we mean by patent. So a patent is a legal right which is granted to an inventor, which is giving them exclusive rights to their invention for a certain period. This means no one else can make, use, or sell the invention without the permission. What is the purpose? So patent protects inventions and encourage innovation by allowing inventors to benefit commercially from their creativity. So one person comes out with a novel idea. Okay, so suppose if he is not, recognized and it is not going to be benefited, financially, so then he will not feel to do another discovery, right? So if that person is identified and encouraged through royalty or by, commercially, so then other people will also get motivated to make further inventions, right? So that is a whole purpose of getting a patent. What is a patent? So it's a statutory right to the inventor of or the applicant. Okay, so I have done some experiment. I have got a very unique results which nobody have got so far, and it is useful to the society. So then that particular thing can be patented. So this is my statutory right. Okay. So whether if I am coming out with a new process or a product, that is my statutory right. So I should say this is mine. How I can say it is mine? So this is a process where I can file a patent. Okay, so file a patent and get a grant, and I can say that this is my property. So that will be my property for 20 years. After that, it becomes societal property. Okay, so it is for the limited period of time. It is granted on lieu of sufficient disclosure to the patent officers. So don't think if I file a patent now, I'll get grant of patent by next month. So it takes almost 4 to 5 years to get a grant. It's only territorial right. It is a negative right. Okay. It is just limited to the India and not throughout the universe. Okay, so what is patent? So patent, this subject, what is patent is not an absolute right. So why? So this subject to certain conditions like government use. So whatever I patent can be used by the government. So importation or manufacturing by or on behalf of the government doesn't need any permission. So if somebody else like other non-governmental institutions are going to, use it, it has to pay royalty. And also it can be used for the experimental purpose, research purpose, teaching purpose. So there is no restriction on that. Distribution of drug or medicine by government in dispensary, hospital or other medical institutions rendering public service are on behalf of the government. So here all it is not an absolute right. And if it is used for foreign vessels, aircraft, land vehicles, which have temporarily or accidentally come to India, so all these things doesn't require any permission from a person who files a patent. So patentable subject matter, what are the things that can be patented? Any article, like you will come out with a different computer design, apparatus, a machinery or its component. So it's a camera. So you come out with a different camera, different shape, and also you have a substance which living or non-living product, pharmaceutical product, like you come out with any chemical structure, and also the pharmaceutical products like tablets or something like that. Any composition of matter, pharmaceutical products like you can see all these different items have different shapes because they have all been patented. So you cannot use that one shape which has been used by one company by another company. Any process, manner or art of manufacturing other than essential biological processes. Okay, so what are the basic criteria for patentability? I was telling you, your idea should be novel. The invention must be new and not publicly disclosed anywhere in the world before the filing date. So if somebody has already done, it is not your idea, right? So your idea should be new. Okay, so inventive. It must involve technical advancement or non-obvious improvement over existing knowledge to someone skilled in the field. So if for the expert who is skilled in the field, so your invention should appear, it's a non-obvious improvement. Okay, so technical advancement. So if he feels it was already there, so then he will not be given with the patent. Industrially applicable, it should be capable of being made or used in any kind of industry or commerce. So otherwise it's not going to be useful, right? So you will come out with some idea which cannot be used, then what is a point in coming out with that idea? Fully disclosed, so must be clearly and completely described to enable a skilled person to reproduce it. So whatever you are coming out with, the idea must be completely given. Okay, so that idea, the design should be completely given, so that after you given your you give your idea, any other person who is technically skilled can repeat it. Okay, so patentability depends on the national laws. For instance, what is patentable in the US may not be patentable in India or Europe. Okay, so United States, you have USPTO. This allows patents for software, business methods, and biotech inventions, and provide technical effect, broad scope of patentable subject matter. But in the India, it excludes Indian Patent Act 1970. It excludes software per se, mathematical methods, business methods, traditional knowledge, and atomic energy inventions. All these things cannot be patented. Emphasis on public interest and bioethics. So all these things are, cannot excluded from patenting. Okay, so let us learn patent in Indian context. So we are not in US, right? So what is an invention? So according to the Patent Act, that is 1970. So according to section 21J, invention means a new product or process involving an inventive step and capable of industrial application. New means published, invention must not be published in India or elsewhere in prior public knowledge or prior public use within India, and it should be claimed before in any specification in India. So it should not be, old one. Okay, so that's a new means. Inventive step. A feature of an invention that it involves technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge or have economic significance or both. And it makes the invention not obvious to a person skilled in the art. Okay, so what do you mean by industrial application? It means invention is capable of being made or used in any kind of industry. Otherwise, nobody is going to take it, right? So otherwise, even if you file a patent, nobody will take it. And what is the use? What is not patentable? So we have, inventions falling within the scope of Section 3 of Patents Act 1970, and also inventions falling within the scope of Section 1 of subsection 20 of Atomic Energy Act. For example, inventions relating to compounds of uranium, beryllium, thorium, plutonium, radium, graphite, lithium, all these radioactive compounds cannot be patentable. So here I have given you further information about inventions which are not patentable. Frivolous or anything obviously contrary to well-established natural laws. Okay, so we cannot overrule the natural laws, right? That cannot be patentable. Contrary public order or mortality, serious prejudice to human, animal or plant life, that cannot be patentable. The mere discovery of a scientific principle, just if you come out with the idea or a law or something like abstract theory, that cannot be, patentable. And also the discovery of new form of a known substance, that is also not patentable. And also if you are coming out with the, if you are mixing some chemicals and you are coming out with a new product, that cannot be, patentable. And just you are rearranging or duplicating some devices which you are just mixing it up, the methods, and if you are coming out with the new one, that cannot be patentable. Method of agriculture, horticulture cannot be, patentable. And also if you are coming out with the process of medical, surgical, curative, prophylactic, all these medical related things which render them free of disease or to increase their economic value, that cannot be patentable. Plants and animals in whole or any part thereof other than microorganisms, but including seeds, these cannot be, patentable. A mathematical or business method or computer program cannot be patentable. Literary, dramatic, musical or artistic work cannot be patentable. Topography of integrated circuits cannot be patentable. And finally, the invention which in effect is traditional knowledge or which is an aggregation or duplication of known properties, that also cannot be patentable. So national and international IPR laws and acts. So national laws, pertaining to India, the Patents Act 1970, which has been amended in 2005. You can go to the IPR website, government IPR website, you will see all these informations. This governs all aspects of patenting in India, and it introduces products, patents, and also it administered by the Office of the Controller General of Patents, Design and Trademarks, and it covers filing, publication, examination, opposition, grant and enforcement. So international treaties and conventions. So World Intellectual Property Organization is there. If you want to, file an international patent, we have to go to WIPO, TRIPS, PCT and Berne Convention. Okay, so these are the international things. So let me tell you how we can patent. What is a roadmap for patenting process? So the first one is we have to find whether our work is novelty. So that is a novelty search. After we find our work is novel and nobody has done so far, we can prepare our patent specification. So after we prepare patent specification, we can file a patent application. So file after preparing a patent application. Okay, so it has to be, submitted to the patent office. After we submit it to the patent office, so that office will actually see again whether it is novel or not and whether all the given information is correct or not. It's going to publish it. Okay, so it's going to publish in the website. After it publishes, anybody, any public citizen or any citizen from India can object. So, okay, so if there are no objections, so there will be a preliminary examination will start. So in the preliminary examination, so the experts will take up your patent application and they will examine all the details which you have submitted. So if they have some queries, they will give the queries to the applicant. Okay, so we have to respond to the examiner's report and hearing. Okay, we can do it individually or even through the representative. Okay, so if we satisfy all the queries and all the objections raised by them, so then the patent will be granted. Okay, so how will be the documents required for filing? So you see, there is a covering letter, application for grant of patent in Form 1, and complete provisional specification, statement and undertaking, power of attorney, declaration of inventor, request for examination, requisite statutory fees. So you see, there are so many things which are there. So first one is how you will determine novelty. Conduct a prior search to ensure your invention. You go through the literature and find out whether your work is novel or not. How you will draft a patent application. So you see, you have these informations which have to be given. Particulars of applicants or inventors, provide a brief descriptive title of the invention, 100 words or less about abstract or summary, detailed description of the invention. Then there are so many questions, you can go through it. So these questions will be there. You have to answer while preparing the patent application. Next is filing the patent application. So patent can be filed either in the physical form at the patent office, or even it can be filed through online, that is electronic filing. So the question is where to file a patent application. If you want to file it physically, so there are branch offices in Chennai, Mumbai, New Delhi and Calcutta, and you can do that. Okay, so after you submit, once a patent application is filed, it is published by the IPO in the official website. And this publication is important steps because your work has been registered. Nobody can again file an application based related to your product. Okay, so next is request for examination. I told you. So after a patent application is published, the next is queries which are going to be raised. The examination determines whether the invention is novel and it is going to meet all the legal requirements for patentability, and examination process will be conducted. So IPO, the Indian Examination Office, thoroughly evaluates the patent application to determine its eligibility. So you don't think it's going to be like simply going to be done. After a request for examination, RFE is filed, the application is assigned to the examiner who issues a first examination report, FER. Okay, so with the objections, the applicant will receive those applications and he should answer that within the 6 months. And if the no response resolves all objections, the patent is granted. Otherwise, it's lead to the rejection. Okay, so if all objections are resolved, so you will be granted with the patent, and the patent remains valid for 20 years from the filing date, subjected to the payment of annual renewal fees. So you have to pay the annual renewal fees up to 20 years. So even after you get a patent, or patent is granted to you, so you will be like post-grant compliance is possible. What is that? After a patent is granted, the patent holder must fulfill post-grant compliance. That means if this includes paying annual fees, and the holder must also file Form 27 annually, and also legal enforcement of rights such as addressing infringement. Suppose if anybody again files as objections, so the patentee should actually answer those things. If he doesn't answer, then again the patent is going to be withdrawn. Okay, so what are the tools and resources for IP search and filing? So these are the Google patents, SpaceNet, European Patent Office. You can go to these website and you can find whether your patent is whatever the subject you are patenting is already patented or not. So you have Google Patent and patent filing portals. IP India portal is a very important portal, web portal, where you can file your portal. This is all for the international. And how you will learning and training resources. So these websites also give you training for filing the patent. And also this is a patent website page. Okay, so where you can get all the information. So ipindia.gov.in. If you go to this, so it will give you all the information. So let me summarize what I have talked so far. So IPR protects creations of the mind from inventions to artistic works and brand identities, and patents, trademarks, copyrights, designs, and trade secrets are key types of IPR with different scopes and durations. Patentability requires novelty, inventiveness, and industrial application and varies across jurisdictions. And intellectual property plays a vital role in academia, industry, and innovation by promoting creativity, economic growth, and collaboration. So IPR is not just a legal formality, it's a strategic tool to protect, promote, and profit from your innovation. Okay, so ideas shape the course of history, protect them wisely. Okay, so that is the last statement which I can tell you. And these are the references which I have followed for the research methodology as well as for the, IPR talk. And finally, thank you. And this session is open for the discussion. So if you have any questions, I will be very happy to take up a few questions. ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ವಾ? ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Okay, now I can see.